Well, it's a sad day. I noticed a giant puddle of oil in the driveway. This is a lot of oil. This would be when he left to go to karate. All the way down the street. Look at that. All the way down the street, he's dumping oil. And then he comes back about an hour later and pulls in back in. And by this time, as you can see, it's empty. So I just moved it over here without turning it on. I just kind of, put it in accessory mode so I can check it out. And I was afraid to start it. And let's see if we can figure out what is going on here. And that is bone dry. He said it didn't overheat on the way home, but it definitely is running with no oil. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, looks like something completely exploded under here. Oil is just spewing. Oh, it's dripping on me. You can see it's just sporadic drips everywhere. This could very well be the death nail to the 2010. Had this thing now for 15 years. It's been one of the best cars. Next to my Toyota Tacoma. I think the Tacoma might have it beat, but second best car. And to completely run out of oil. I was thinking the fact that the oil was spraying all over the place means that it was like a pressurized kind of thing. What seems to make sense that would cause the pressurized system could be the oil filter. There's an O-ring around. There's actually two, one outer and one inner. And it could be that just sprung a leak, and then because that is under pressure, it just started spraying everywhere. So I'm gonna start with taking that apart and replacing those. And then this is where I think the problem is. There's an inner and an outer, and I suspect the outer is probably what's leaking because it's so bad, but we'll see. So now I just got a standard 3/8 drive. I got an old bike seat and I'm putting it over here, which will extend, turn it into a long lever to hopefully help me get this up unlocked. Oh yeah, there it goes. There's this thing, which is a little key looking thing that will pop up in here. Oh man, not gonna be much oil in there. Let's get this out. There we go. I'm just going to wipe down here. All right, I'm not seeing any cracks here. Filter comes out of there. Just make sure you lubricate it. This goes on here. Okay, some good oil here. Okay, so I got some oil in there. I got it showing on the dipstick. Of course, I need to run the engine to run run it through the oil filter now, and it'll use a little, and I'll probably top it off, but I'm gonna just start the engine now and see if it starts spraying oil again. Oh my. Yeah, it's dumping. Oh my goodness. Yeah, shut that off. I had it running for like 30 seconds, and that's how much oil is. So this is not looking good. Something blew. Hopefully not a head gasket. And there it goes. What a bunch of oil. All right, so I got an update a couple days later. The good news is it was probably the second best thing that could have gone wrong. It was actually the oil cooler lines, which apparently connect to the oil filter housing. And I didn't realize this, but they're rubber. So the oil cooler lines sprung a leak, and just, I guess because they're under pressure, they just sprayed everywhere. I had to have it towed to the shop down the street. Thankfully it was very close, and only $100 to have it towed, and then they fixed it. Total bill was a little over $600, which included new oil and plus the parts. I can't imagine why there would be rubber oil cooling lines and not metal. I think they may have replaced the rubber ones with metal. So here's the new parts. You can see that's the oil cooler with a flex hose now that heads to oil filter housing, which is that thing right there. And so I did not take the shroud out, but I probably should have, because if it's just 3 bolts, I may have been able to actually fix this myself. I don't know like how much they had to take apart. They actually did a good job with wiping it down and cleaning up the oil, because it was spraying all over everything. Okay, we are back. Finally got everything fixed up. Now we got to get it cleaned up. I'm going to try some new oil stain remover this time. It's a little bit expensive. It was about $20, $25. I thought it was going to be a lot, but look, it's a tiny little packet. But this is a enzyme infused powder. So it says you just brush it on, and then the longer it stays on, the better it works. So we're going to see if this works. I'm going to spread some out and we'll give it a few days. I don't know how long this is going to last, but you can see there's only a little bit in there. I mean, this is $25 for a tiny little bit. Is a lot. All right, so I'm going to put some here first. It says spread it in like a crisscross pattern. Okay, so yeah, it spreads out pretty good. You can see where it's almost like a dye. Where it's going on, and it's almost like paint, like a paint or dye or something. So I'll put a little bit here, a little around the edges. Okay, I put a line down the whole driveway and spread out some here. We'll see if this works. I still have some left, maybe 25%. Okay, it's been a few weeks. The stuff actually seems like it's working. I went ahead and put down a second coat. So you can see the driveway is that's just like the mold kind of stuff, but where the spot is, it's almost like it's a dye or something, because I'm not sure it's actually drawing out the oil. It feels like it's like dyeing the concrete. It's like lighter than the concrete now. So where the oil had dripped all the way down, I originally power washed, that's why it's looks like that, but where the oil was is now lighter than everything rather than darker. So it looks like this stuff is actually working. So even though it's really expensive for a tiny bag, it's like over $20 for a tiny bag, I think it's actually worth it, and I would definitely recommend using it. over like kitty litter. Or there's another video I posted about getting oil out of your driveway, and that is like a liquid you pour down and then it pulls it out. I'll put a link to that if you want to look at it. That worked okay, but it took multiple applications and it still didn't get the stain out. I would say it took the oil out, but it didn't get the stain out. This stuff seems to draw both the oil and the stain out, but I would say more of the stain, because I don't really see how the oil is coming out, because you would think that it would like clump up or something, and it doesn't do that. It basically, the powder just goes away over time. Last thing to do is just clean the driveway and just see what it looks like. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more time. I'll clean the driveway and we'll do a final conclusion. Turns out the engine still ran fine. You don't really know if you do any permanent damage to the engine. I mean, the engine still ran fine, but don't really know like what scarring internally, like to the combustion chamber or the piston walls. Or so this video took several months actually to make. And since then, if you haven't noticed by now, I've had LASIK on my eyes, which I really like now, having being able to see without glasses. But it was a sad day. I decided to go ahead and trade the Lexus in the 2010 towards a brand new something I will reveal in a new video. Spoiler alert, I learned my lesson from the last vehicle purchase, and this one was a lot better experience. So, but with my son about to go to college 3 hours away, I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and get rid of it. So it was a sad day. We had a going away ceremony. Bought that thing brand new off the lot and did a lot of work to it. You all came along for the ride. I really appreciate all the views, and hopefully my videos on the 2010 have been helpful. So now going forward, there'll be a new member of the family, and it is a Lexus, and I will share with you more to come very soon. So hope this video was helpful, and we'll catch you next time.